Hi parents! If you have ever watched your child emotionally completely fall apart and thought, I have no idea what is happening right now, this episode is for you. Is it sensory overload? Is it anxiety? Or is it just a child who seems to fall apart over everything? Welcome to From the Teacher's Desk. I'm a special education teacher with parent and teacher-friendly strategies to support learning and behavior. And today we're discussing whether a child can have sensory overload, anxiety, or something else. And we're going to discuss 3 simple questions that are going to help you make much more sense of what you are seeing. Let's get started. Let's have a look and see why this can feel so confusing. One of the hardest parts of parenting a neurodiverse child is not understanding why certain behaviors are taking place. And you keep asking yourself, is it avoidance? Is it anxiety? Is it sensory? Has this become a habit? Or am I missing really important information? A lot of parents are constantly asking themselves these questions because unfortunately, the behavior does not come with a label. You just see a child refusing a haircut, panicking in the supermarket, not being able to eat certain foods, covering their ears at a birthday party, or melting down at the sound of a hand blow dryer. And of course, everyone around you has an opinion. They just need to get used to it. They are being picky. You need to be firmer. But what parents do not need is judgment. They need support and help to make the following observations. Here is a simple place to start and questions that you can ask. Instead of asking, what is going on with my child? You can ask these 3 questions. Number 1, what happened immediately before the behavior began? Number 2, how did my child react to this? And number 3, what helped end my child's behavior? The answer to these 3 questions can give you a lot of information. If the trigger is noise, texture, smell, light, movement, or body discomfort, then sensory issues may be the problem. If the trigger is anticipation, uncertainty, performance anxiety, or fear of what is going to happen, then anxiety could be the issue. If the behavior appears mostly when a hard demand is placed on the child, overwhelm or difficulty with a certain skill could be the reason. Now, this reasoning will not work every time and it's not a perfect solution, but it is a better place to start. You might be wondering if there can be any overlap between all of these. And yes, there certainly can be. A child who has sensory sensitivities can also have anxiety at the same time. And a child who has fear of failure can also avoid a task that is hard at the same time. And parents can sometimes get confused because this behavior can be layered. And this is why saying just push through it can backfire sometimes, because if a child has genuine overload, repeated forcing does not create tolerance. In fact, it sometimes can create panic. For example, if a child cannot handle the texture of bananas, feeding them bananas every day does not solve the problem. It just creates mistrust and more anxiety. However, this does not mean that also you remove every discomfort and difficulty from your child's life. It means that the support must match the problem. Sensory problems need sensory solutions. Anxiety needs predictability and preparation. And always remember, skills can be taught to your children. If you are not sure what you are seeing, start tracking patterns instead of diagnosing every moment in your head. Write things down. Write down what happened, where it happened, with who it happened, what time of day it was, how long did it last, and what helped. Patterns are often clearer to see on paper than sorting it out in the middle of a meltdown. And you do not need to become an expert overnight, but you do need to become more specific. Because saying something like, my child doesn't do well in public spaces is not really that useful and it leaves a lot to be avoided. But if you say something like, my child doesn't do well in public spaces with an echo, bright lights, and unpredictable noise, now that is more useful and that is something you can avoid in the future. The more specific you are, That information will be more useful and you can start making positive changes. Thank you so much for joining me here from the Teacher's Desk. Next week, we will be discussing what happens when your child is socially corrected all day, every day. See you then.